So I just want to welcome everybody here. Thank you so much for coming and learning so much more about your own health and helping other people. We really need this in our world. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be able to share a little bit more information about the things that I do and what I've learned in order to help forward the things that you do so that you can make a bigger difference in the world. Because I think that's really it. All of us, our hearts, we're driven to want to be able to make that change, to be able to make a difference for someone. So again, I just want to thank you so much for having me here to do this. So tonight we're going to be talking about the bones and their emotions and how that's such a critical link for health, to help you understand where different emotions are stored throughout the body. So for instance, where confidence might be stored or various different things that you might not think about. For instance, confidence is stored in your shin bone. So let me help you learn a little bit about me. I have 37 years experience in the natural healing field. I'm the leading speaker in natural emotional care. I'm an author of 4 different books, the developer of an entire line of natural emotional care that is sold in stores throughout the country. I'm a master energy healer and a certified phytoaromatologist. In addition, I teach continuing education classes for CEs, certified by NCB TMB, which is the National Certification Board for Therapeutic Massage. So my goal is to expand your mind, not only in the area of healing, but as a ripple into all areas of your life. See, by changing you here, we change everything about you. As you broaden your mind to new possibilities, the potential for your life expands. As you stretch yourself, you benefit not only yourself, but all those whose lives you touch. See, I don't want to just help you. I want to help you help your family. I want to help you help your friends. I want to help you help your community. I want to help you make a difference. So the more that I can share with you what I know and make it something that you can really apply in your lives, the bigger the ripple effect that we can all make. So why do we do what we do? Why do you do what you do? Because when one person is happier, we've changed a family. When 10 people are happier, we change a community. When 100 people are happier, we change a town. What about 100,000 or 1 million? See, then we change the world. By helping one person find more peace today, you make a difference in changing our world. That is how we get to world peace. We say we want it. We're trying to get there. We're working our things off, right, to try and get there. But how are we going to do that? And that's what I want to help you have more tools to do. And since 1995, this has been my mission. So this is my personal message to you. Healing is a gift. It was given to you by the divine. And it flows through each and every one of us. Healing is something we pass on with every loving act and kindness, regardless of whether we're conscious of sharing our healing or not. See, the individual who's not even paying attention, and when a child falls and hurts themselves, and they reach down to help the child, right then in that very moment we have passed on our energy to that child. We've passed on our compassion. So I want to talk just for a second about energy. We're not going to talk a lot about it, but I want to talk to you for a second about that. Because I travel all over the country talking to groups from everywhere. And I talk to bankers and corporate folks. And I talk to healers. So for a second, what I want you to talk about is energy. Some people are real familiar with our energy, and some people aren't. Some people think it's woo-woo, and some people think it's the best thing next to sliced bread. Here's the deal. I want to ask you a question. When you meet someone for the first time, how long does it take you to decide whether you like them or not? Instantly. Instantly, right? Right, almost instantly. How can that be? How's that possible? You've never met this person before. How can you meet someone and say, oh my God, I really hope I never see this person again? Or, wow, like, are we best friends? How could I have just met you and feel like I've known you for 20 years? And then, of course, there's everything in between. So here's the deal. This is what energy is. I'm the daughter of a scientist, okay? I grew up the daughter of a biologist. He affected the lives of every single person in this country. And he affected the lives of individuals all around the globe. Who took biology in school? It's a requirement, right? You have to take biology. So my dad's job was creating the educational materials so that they could teach you biology in school. So did anybody ever prick your finger to see what your blood type was? That's my dad. He made that so you could do that at home or at school to learn about what your blood type is. If you learned about genetics in school, in order to do that, you study fruit flies. The blue stuff in the bottom of the vial that's used all over the globe, my dad invented that. So you know, if you grow up the child of a literary agent, you're going to do literature. You grow up the child of a musician, you're going to do music. I grew up the child of a guy that developed science kits. So guess what we did for fun on the weekends? So the time I was 7, I was already working with microscopes and slides and learning how to identify things and doing all types of fun things. Going out, discovering new plants and collecting different things to be able to teach people about science in school. And I remember actually I was a pretty precocious kid. So I'm 9 years old and we go on a field trip for the school and we're going through the nature trails all through this park to teach all these kids about nature and all these different plants. So they're telling us about this tree and I'm going, that's not that tree. But it's labeled, big label right there on the tree. Go a little further through and here's another tree. I said, that's not that tree. Over again. Now you can imagine the teacher not too thrilled with this child who's telling everybody this is wrong. So go home and I'm talking to my dad about it and everything. He goes, okay, let's go look. They had mislabeled the nature trail. But at 9, I was already so used to identifying plants that I knew that they had mislabeled the trail. So they went through and fixed everything. So at least from then on, everybody got educated correctly about plant identification instead of incorrectly. The reason I share that is to help you understand that I'm doing what I call it fun physics. It's understanding science and understanding energy. The reason that you can identify whether or not you like that person is because here's the thing. Again, we're going to do science for a second here. You're a human. You're made up of, well, energy, but cells, right? What makes up the cells? Molecules. One more, right? What makes up the molecules? Atoms. There you go. We can tell you guys already know energy. See, so the atoms make up the molecules, which make up the cells, which make up you, which is why you are an energy being. Because just like the table is made up of atoms, and the floor is made up of atoms, and the air that we breathe is made up of atoms, and everything is made up of atoms, you're made up of atoms. So when you meet somebody, what happens is the atoms, are spilling off your body. So if you're angry, you have angry atoms spilling off. If you're happy, you have happy atoms spilling off. Which is why you can walk into a room where 2 people have been arguing, you haven't heard them say a word. You can feel it. We even have the expressions, the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. See? So here's the thing. The atoms are spilling off of their body. The atoms are spilling off of your body. And guess what? Those atoms start bumping up against each other. And they either like the way they feel or they don't. It's really that simple. So in an instant, you're able to make those decisions. That information's being transferred to you and to that other person. So see, it's really not woo-woo. It's just physics. But I don't know how many of us actually, I didn't go all the way to take physics in school. I don't know how you did. And if you did, this wasn't the fun physics that they taught us in physics, right? So this is the stuff to understand, is that that's the whole deal. And that's what I'm trying to help you understand. Healing is a gift. It is automatically put within you. It is something that we all share through our kindness. So when you are kind to someone, no matter where you are, whether you're working with a client, or you're in the grocery store, or you're in the bank, or at your kid's school, when you are kind, you pass on kindness. And when you are angry or rude, you also pass on anger or rudeness. So the choices that we make as individuals in how we treat each other on a daily basis, regardless of the mood we are in, makes a difference. Because it's really okay to be angry. Anger is a healthy, normal emotion. The problem is what we do with it. And we use it to hurt the people we love most, as well as strangers. And when you're angry and rude, with anyone, but especially with the people that you love, you push them away from you. You create separation. You destroy the very love you've been working to build. And now you got to figure out how to rebuild it. So another option would be to figure out how to be kind even when you're angry. And it's very possible. It takes practice, it takes skill. But so did learning how to read and learning how to write and figure out how to ride a bicycle and doing foot zonology and healing and all the other things. It took practice. So it becomes a matter of how important is it to you in your life? How important is closeness? How important is love? How important are friendships? And in essence, how important is world peace? Because if we cannot be kind to our families, and we cannot be kind to our neighbors, how will we ever get there? See, it's not that we're all going to agree, we're all always going to get along, we're not going to think the same, we're not going to believe the same. In this room, even with all of what you do, every single one of you does it in your own way. So it's not about being the same. It's about valuing and respecting our differences and loving each other, not even in spite of them, but because of them. To love you because you're different than me. Because if we take something as basic as cooking, because let me tell you what, if you had to eat and you were dependent on me, you'd have a real problem. It's not my gift. Music is not my gift. Painting is not my gift. Math is not my gift. Geography is not my gift. See, there's lots of things I'm not very good at. I'm an amazing healer. I'm a profound healer. So if I do what I'm good at, and you do what you're good at, and everybody does what they're good at, see, the world begins to work. Because the thing is, I don't believe the world can work without healers. We have too many problems that need to be resolved, and I don't believe that the way that much of it is being resolved in the world today is headed in the right direction, especially for world peace. But on the flip side of that, the thing is that if people wouldn't cook, I would starve. My best cooking is in a crock pot, and I figure out ways to eat out of that crock pot for about 2 or 3 days. That's how I survive. It's just not my gift. See, and if we didn't have musicians doing music, how dull would the world be? Or artists doing painting or sculptures. See, we need our differences. It's important to love each other because of our differences. And it makes it a lot easier to tolerate each other if we're being kind. Because I don't care how much I love you, if you're mean to me, it's much harder to be nice to you than it is if you're being nice to me, even if you're angry. If you're angry and you find a nice, calm tone to try and communicate with me, instead of yelling at me and telling me what's wrong with me, it's much easier for me to communicate back with you and help us try and find a mutual place of peace. See, healing is so much more than even what you're learning in here. You are healers. Your gift is healing. Everything you do, whether you do anything with the information you learn in here or any other class that you take, when you walk down the aisle at the grocery store, your vibration changes the people you pass. Every single place you go, every single interaction you have, you make a difference. So your power is much greater than you may have had any idea before. So now, as someone who is choosing to help the world heal, understand, in my opinion, it is now your job. You have chosen the job. You have chosen the path of helping the world to heal. Therefore, it has become your responsibility to figure out how to be that person. If you were studying math, it might not be your job. It'd be a nice thing if you did it, but not your job. If just the healers on this planet did this, the planet would change. See, because it's that fun physics thing again. Because all of our atoms would be spilling out all over the world. And you know, have you ever been into a church? It's really hard to yell in a church. You go into a baseball stadium, it's kind of hard to kneel down and pray. See? It's the energy of the space. So that's the whole thing, is we are the energy of the space that we occupy. So everywhere you go, as we leave the room and we go out into the world, we are spreading our atoms. We are making the difference. We are what is important. So healing is way beyond what you do with one person. It's what you do in the world and how you respond. And because you have chosen the path of a healer, that responsibility is greater for you than those who have not chosen that path. It's the same as if your responsibility would be cooking for your family. If you decide not to cook, who's going to pick it up and do it? See? It's the job you have. It's part of the job description. It's the one that you volunteered to do. And you know what? You're all really good at it, or you wouldn't be in this room. This is just about taking it to the next level. If you ever played a video game and you go up to the next level, you level up? This is about leveling up. You level up by coming and taking a class and learning more than you knew. Makes you a better healer, right? This leveling up changes everything in your world. It will change every relationship you have. It will change your community. It will change your home. It will change your work. It will change the clients that come to you. Not just in the work that you do with them, but the ones that pick up the phone to call you and ask to come. Anybody got clients you don't really love working with? Change your energy. Because, you know, here's the thing. Have you ever hung out with somebody, like, ever heard this one? She's just too happy. Right? Okay, I want to be that person. Because the people who like happy will like to hang out with me. And the people who don't like happy are going to go, she's just too happy, right? And they'll go the other way. Be the best you. They will automatically, because this again is the way atoms work. They'll be drawn to you because you're you. Or repelled from you. So you pushed away. Because they won't like the way your atoms feel. That's how you change your life. See, so you get to change your relationships you haven't even made yet. And I'm not just talking about this in theory. I can tell you this because I'm telling you because I've done it myself. It's an amazing thing to live and experience. And you can have a much better life than the life you have today by making those few simple changes in your life. So what are you going to learn during time together? So you already got that. That was just the bonus. Where specific emotions tend to store in different bones. What a challenge within a bone may reveal about the emotions that a person is struggling with. Remember I mentioned the shin bone and confidence? So if somebody's having an issue with confidence, look to the shin bone. What three layers of the bones? What are the three layers of the bones and what each layer represents? And the thing is, I'm going to tell you this, a bunch of you are going to want to know more. I only have 2 hours with you. In reality, I have an hour and a half left. And you can see how quickly the first 30 minutes went. So we're going to go through so much and so quickly. At the same time, you're going to want more. A lot of you. Maybe not everybody, but a lot of you. And what I want to do is let you know that if you want more, I'm going to tell you about that. I've got some stuff in the back. I've got some things for you so that you can learn more. Okay, so I want you to know that when we get to the end, I'm not going to leave you hanging. There is a way to learn a lot more because this I will tell you, we actually just got done doing a workshop, a 2-day workshop here. This is the tip of the iceberg. This is the tip of the iceberg. So let's talk about the impact of emotions. Understanding the impact of emotions on your life is critical. Do you guys already see in just the little time that I taught you the difference between how your emotions are impacting just your relationships and your home, and now how they're impacting your communities and the person at the grocery store and the bank teller? To say, you know, I love your hat. What a beautiful scarf. To just lift someone's spirit. It's impacting you on a deeper level, much deeper in your body. I don't know how many of you know about emotions and their connection to illness. We're going to talk, I'm not sure if I'll tap on that much today. We'll see. But here's what you want to understand, that until you have loved deeply, you cannot possibly know that richness. How many of you have children? So did you know what that was like before you had kids? See? How many have ever had an amazing relationship? And before that relationship, you might have dreamed and wanted and desired, but until you had it, did you know what that was? See? Here's what I want to tell you, because some of you get scared because you get hurt because you love so deeply. The deeper the pain you have felt, the larger your repertoire of emotions, the greater your opportunity for joy. You can only feel joy and richness in life to the same depth that you can feel pain. Because see, if you're in that great relationship, how many people have ever had a great relationship fall apart?
Oh yeah.
How many have ever had one of their kids break their heart? See? But the only reason that pain was possible was because of the level of joy and connection that you had, the level of love that you had. And you know why your heart broke? Because it wasn't big enough. You had pain because there wasn't enough love in your heart to handle it. See? Big hearts.
Huge.
Yes.
Concept called unconditional love.
Yes. See? Because here's the thing. When you were 3 and somebody took a crayon away from you, you got pretty upset. You might have screamed and cried, unless you didn't like crayons, but most 3-year-olds like crayons. You might have thrown yourself on the floor and had a temper tantrum, all that. Let me ask you, how many of you, if I took a crayon away from you right now, would throw yourself on the floor and have a temper tantrum? Just a couple, right? No. See, understanding that what happened is, you experienced that pain as a 3-year-old, that hurt. But you learned to get over it. You learned to heal from it. You got up, right? They pitch that fit, but they only pitch a fit for so long. Kids are actually one of our best teachers. They pitch that fit for so long, and then what happens? Eventually they stop, they get up, and they go do something else. If you just wait long enough, they're done. Now, I get that some, you have to wait a lot longer, because I had one of those. But understanding, they eventually get to a point where they're done. They move on. So what they learned was, they didn't shove the pain down and go, I'm fine, and walk on. They didn't just go on with life. I'm over it. I'm done. No, they have a fit. They get it out, and they move on. So that's the reason that I could take a crayon from you today and it wouldn't be a problem, because you learned the skill when you were little. See, but what happened is, I think it probably hits around middle school, because we all go through, I know that middle school girl meanness thing. I don't know about boys, but oh my gosh, those girl middle school years are just hard. And at that point, nobody told us how to fix our hearts, so we started shutting them down. We didn't figure out how to keep them open. We didn't figure out that the problem was that you didn't have enough love to not, care isn't the right word, you actually cared so deeply how they felt. But instead you pretended you didn't care and you shut your heart down. But if you have enough love for you and the other person, then it doesn't matter what they think. See, you could think anything about me you want to think about me. I don't need you to love me. What I need is to have enough love inside of me that even if you judge me or don't feel good about me, I'm really okay. And I can still love you anyway. See how that works? I can still love you anyway, even if you don't like me. I can still love you. That's having enough love in the heart for you and the other person. So when our hearts get broken by those painful experiences, they are opportunities to grow our hearts and make them bigger and love more deeply. Because that's how you fix the wound. It is not by closing the heart and pretending that you don't care and you don't need them. It is by bawling your eyes out And if you cry long enough, just the same way as you watch the child cry long enough, what happens is they cry, and they cry, and they cry, and then some of them will start to laugh. And they'll roll over, and they get giddy, and they run off and play. See? So you cry, and you cry, and you cry, looking for that moment of peace. Because it will come. If you watch kids, you'll watch it. It naturally comes. And the peace is where the heart is balancing itself. It hurts like heck. All right? I'm not going to kid you. You know this already. It hurts like all get out. But it's because your heart is broken. Of course it hurts. But closing it down is not going to make you any happier. And what's going to happen if you have a pie chart and you're closing it down and you're closing it down and you're closing it down, you end up with this much heart. And then what do we do? We end up old and bitter. We know those people, right? You can hear them talking, and about 4 sentences out of their mouth, you're going, okay, I'm done with this one. Right? That's what happens because you don't have enough heart not to be bitter. It's not the other person's fault they broke your heart. I don't care what they did. Here's the deal. Maybe it is their fault. But it's still your heart. It's your heart that has to be fixed. It's your heart that has to be repaired. And do you think the person that broke it cares and is going to do anything to try and fix it? No, right? So as long as you keep blaming them for breaking your heart and wanting them to fix it, you are not going to get anywhere, and you're going to get old and bitter. See? Because you're not going to have any skill when the next person comes along. You're not going to have as much heart that you had before. So you won't be able to love as deeply. But if you, see, it's your heart. That's the beauty of it. You have the power to fix your heart. It might not be easy. I'm not going to tell you it's easy. It is painful. You'll cry a lot in the process. But in the crying, see, when you release the tears, it's the physical, the mental, and the emotional all healing. So if you don't have tears, you're not getting all 3 layers. Just so you know that. You might be getting 1, you might be getting 2, but you want all 3. Because you want all 3. Your mind is angry. It's been wounded. Your heart is angry, has been wounded. And your physical heart is broken. There's actually a true thing called broken heart syndrome. Okay? And literally, it comes from, women tend to get it more than men, but they can show it with, I think it's called a sonogram, but something, it's not, I don't think it's an x-ray. But they discovered this, and that what happens is after you get really bad news, the heart will literally change shape. It is literally broken. And I think it's about a 21-day window from that time that your increased odds of dying are very, very high. Which I think the beauty of this is why we see couples that have been together for so very long, and one of them passes. The other one can follow them very quickly. I think it's a gift from heaven. But understand that literally your heart has broken. So if you're not in the process of leaving, you need to fix it. And those tears are your number one way to clear all that out of the body. All you're trying to do is get back to calm. Because otherwise you're angry, or you're wounded, or you're bitter, or you're mad, resentful. All those things that, anybody want to be those things? But just nobody told you how to fix it. It really is your tears. And that's why when we grieve and we grieve and we grieve. It's a wound that may not ever heal. But you need the tears to continue to allow the repair to happen within the heart. And that's why I want you to know, in that process, you will hit calm. The same way you watch a child, you will hit calm. You will only cry for so long. And when you hit calm, you're back at peace. And see, what did we talk about? Isn't that what we all want anyway, is world peace? So you just fixed your life. You just created peace in you. You just got back to square one. You might have another layer that shows up. You might do some more crying, but you're going to hit peace again. So that's your goal, is you're always trying to get you back to peace. As long as you're getting you back to peace, see, what's happening is the heart's expanding. Because when you survive that situation, whatever that thing was that broke your heart, see, you don't want to just get through it. As you heal from it, it's just like the crayon. It takes something a whole lot bigger than that to set you into process. So you have just developed another skill. You have increased your capacity to be nice even when you're upset. And you can do all this in the privacy of your own home with no one else. Wow. It only takes you. Or you can do it with a friend or a group of healers, or however you want to do it. Whatever your process is, you can do it in your way. See? Very, very powerful. You don't want to run from your pain. You want to heal your pain. See? Just like when people come to you, they want you to fix their pain. So, don't run from it. Run into it. How far in it can you go? How deep can you feel it? Because the deeper you can feel your pain, the more freedom you gain. Freedom from others, freedom in your life, freedom in your self-expression. And the less controlled you are by your anger, your past experiences, any bitterness or rage or anything negative that ever happened to you in your life. Depths of emotions are relative. The greater the pain, the greater the gift. That's what I was just talking about in terms of the freedom. So the impact of emotions. Shutting down your emotions to try and remain safe simply shuts down your life and your body. Running from negative experiences keeps you trapped in your misery. Addressing and releasing those emotions is the key out of illness and misery prison. That's what I just handed you. The keys out. I can't do it for you. No matter how gifted I am as a healer. I might help you see it. I might help you find it. But only you can fix your pain. Only you. Because it's your pain. See, when someone's grieving and you want to help them, what can you do? You can hold their hand. You can maybe fold their laundry. You can help them with their kids, maybe mow their lawn. But can you fix their broken heart? See? We can help their body deal with it, but they have to do their part. So this is why I'm saying they have to do this, but just like you, this is the keys out. Releasing emotions. Negative emotions such as fear, worry, anxiety, resentment, anger, and guilt are part of the human experience. If you are a human, you're not going to miss these. Don't worry. In case anybody in the room has missed these, they're coming. Navigating emotions is a skill, as I mentioned before, just like reading or writing or math. You practice it, you get better. I will also relate it, it's like riding a bike. The better you get, you don't forget, you don't go backwards. So the better you get, you keep that the rest of your life. Healing the body from those emotions is required if you desire optimum health. Releasing emotional chemicals from the body, or they will store within the bones and the tissues and the organs. You will get very creative as to where to hide them so that you don't have to feel them or find them. But here's the thing, the minute you hide it, you have just created an imbalance in whatever that place is that you hid it. So guess what happens when you get an imbalance? You get a dis-ease. You get sick. Something goes off. The importance of joy. You know, we miss this one. We're so busy trying to get out of our pain, we forget to focus on the joy. Having fun, enjoying life. What's your favorite food? What's your favorite clothing to wear? Who's the best person you want to hang out with? What's your favorite dog or cat? See, in order to bring joy to others, you have to find it within yourself first. You know why? Because of the atoms. Right? If the atoms spilling off of your body are miserable or angry or bitter or resentful or sad or anxious, then guess what you're spreading? Right, the same thing. But if the atoms that are spilling off your body are happy and joyous, then we are spreading happiness and joy. If the atoms spilling off your body are tolerant, then you're spreading tolerance. If the atoms spilling off your body are peaceful, you're spreading peace. So you make the difference in the world. The same way by changing that one person, we change a family. You change you change your home. Many people are adept at presenting joy as a facade, such at parties, seminars, and gatherings. Some people are really good at this. I'm going to tell you how to know. You want to know how? Afterward, they're exhausted from forcing it instead of it coming from a natural state of being. So if you want to know about yourself, if you go out, you go to social stuff, and you come home and you're exhausted, you're pretending when you're out. You're not being you. You're not being your genuine self. Because it takes a lot of energy to pretend. Which is another reason most of us are tired, because we're pretending we're not angry. We're pretending we're not sad. We're pretending we don't have any problems or issues. Everybody has issues. Anybody in the room not have any issues, by the way? Anybody? I want to sign up for that one next time, right? Because here's the thing, we all have issues. That's the deal. We all have them. That's why we can actually help each other. It's also why we can hurt each other. See, this is how you know if joy is true or pretended, both for yourself, for someone else. Let me ask you this. You ever hung out with somebody for a while and they seemed really happy and all that, but after the conversation you were tired? And if you haven't noticed this, you'll start to notice now that you know. And the reason is because they're not really happy. They're pretending they're happy, which takes a whole lot of energy. And if you're being genuine, they will suck the energy right out of you. Because they're tired, and you have more energy than they do. I'm not talking about vampires, all that kind of stuff. People talk about people taking their energy. You know, it's just the way the world works. Because see, the truth is, we're all divine beings, and we care about each other. If we didn't care, you wouldn't be healers. Even the people who are doing math because they want to improve the world in some way, or do better math, or be really good at what they do. I don't know anybody who wants to be bad at what they do. Right? We all want to be better. We're all trying to make a difference. So the thing is that when you hang out with someone and you can feel that energy not being all that, we share our energy with them. They're not taking it from you. You need to understand that. Nobody can take anything from you that you don't give them. So you gave it to them. You might have unconsciously given it to them, but you still gave it to them. So you shared your energy, because that's what we do. Because what? For us, we're healers. We are always sharing our energy with somebody. What do you need? How can I help you? We do it all the time. So you're giving that person your energy while they're sitting there pretending that they're happy, and you're going, I don't know why I feel so miserable and I'm so tired after they walked away. Or I feel really anxious. I'm not an anxious person. Why am I feeling anxious? That was their atoms. That's their atoms, not yours. If you are not an anxious person, you hang out with somebody, you feel anxious afterwards, that was them. You're just not going, oh wow, now I can feel it. Now they walked away. You just didn't realize it maybe while I was standing there. Somebody walks away and you feel really criticized, but you didn't say anything. That inner chatter that they were doing. Unless you're really hard on yourself, which a lot of us are. But in general, if you're feeling something different than you normally feel when someone is no longer in your space and they just were, that's not you, that's their residual atoms hanging out, affecting how you feel. Now affecting how you interact. So we spread our negativity, we spread our positivity. As a healer, what we're looking to do is, how can I be the most positive self? Because the fact is, I'm going to encounter negative people. That whole thing when I said about getting yourself to calm, finding the things that make you happy, dealing with your own pain, that's how you do that. Because then their stuff doesn't bother you, because it's no different than the crayon. See, you're developing skills. You can probably deal with people today that 20 years ago would have made you nuts. You developed a skill. You just didn't know you were. Now if you bring your attention to it, oh my gosh, what you can do with your life. Okay, so why the bones? The bones are the foundation for the body, and they affect the deepest parts of you. They are your core. That's why they're in the center here in various places. They are the thing that gives you stability and structure in your daily life, as well as your deepest beliefs. Because of their dense cellular design, they hold long-term patterns. This means they can warehouse your past experiences and traumas. Most critical, the bones produce your blood. And the blood impacts every cell in the body. This means that your bones have a fundamental impact on your health and also your emotional state. This is key right there. Understand this. This is the key. Your bones produce the blood. Almost every bone in your body has marrow in it. Not all of them, but almost every one, even the tiny ones. And those bones, that marrow produces your blood that circulates throughout your entire body. So, if you've ever been through some type of trauma or grief or bad news, we're going to talk about it in a second, it's stored in the ribs. And you wonder why it keeps coming back over and over and over again. Because that blood that is being produced is feeding every cell in your body. So now every cell in your body is grieving, not just your ribs and your heart. See? This is big, you guys. So let's talk about the 3 layers of bone. Let me help you understand this, because this is important. We're going to talk about what's called concept, belief, and knowing. Concept is a thought. It's what you think. A belief is something that's more held into your heart and has passion behind it. And a knowing is a certainty beyond doubt that healing or disease at our deepest level. So a good one. Let's take God provides for me. It's a concept. First time you heard it. God provides for me. You really believe it? Sure, right? Maybe it might have learned it from a young child, so you're growing up, but if you just heard it for the first time, God provides for me, and you start to look at your life. Now, see, this is a hard time. You can't really do from where you are now and with the knowledge that you have, but let's pretend you didn't know. God provides for me. So it's a concept. So what happens, you go out and you go, okay, let's see, God provides for me. Let me see how I feel about that. Now you've heard the idea, and you start noticing the ways that God's providing for you. You start seeing things happen that you can't explain. How your life is working, or a problem that you had got resolved. See, now it goes from a concept to a belief. You begin to believe it. Oh, this is true. God does provide for me. I've seen it happen. And it starts happening enough, and consistency in your life. And see, the heart's now, because it believes it, is pumping it all through the body, feeding all those cells with this belief, and you will more passionately act upon it than you would have when it was just a concept. And it can move to a knowing. You know that God provides for you. See, you can even feel the strength in me, right? There's a knowing. And that's unwavering. See, when it's a belief, let's just say you lost your job. If it's a concept, God provides for me. God provides. I don't know. I don't know about this. If it's a belief, God provides for me. But let's say at that belief point you get a job offer. Let's say you're into natural healing and your job offer's from a pharmaceutical company. Is that where you want to go? Do you take the job because of the money? Or do you turn it down? Now understand, you guys got families, right? Really? You need an income. Do you take the job if it's the opposite of who you are and what you're about? Or do you turn it down for the next one? I can't tell you the answer. Follow me? And I'm not telling you there's a right answer or a wrong answer. What I want you to understand is the difference between a concept, a belief, and a knowing. If you know God provides for you, it will be very easy to turn the job down. It'll be a very quick decision. Hardly any thought. If it's a concept, forget it. You're taking the job. Because you're hungry and you're scared. If it's a belief, it's where you fall in the belief realm, because right as you work it to the point of a knowing, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. So understanding that's kind of a way to help you understand where you are. There's no judgment on it. There's no right or wrong. It's helping you understand. What I took was something that could be very personal to help you understand it, but you need to understand this because it comes to illness. What if your thought or belief is that all men or women are cheaters? Concept, belief, knowing. See, there are people, don't you know people that know this is true? They know it's true. Now tell me, do they ever run into somebody who's not a cheater? See, even if they even if they ran into somebody who isn't, the most faithful person ever, they know that person's still cheating. They gotta be. See? So those knowings are in your body. So they're about all kinds of things. The deeper the issue, the harder it is to change it. Here's where they sit. We're talking about the bones, right? This is where. So now you understand concept, belief, and knowing. Where does it sit in the body? Concept sits in the outer coating of a bone. It's called the periosteum. It's like a fabric that wraps around the outside of the bone. A belief sits in the hard bone. And a knowing is in the marrow. So with what I just explained to you, you understand why a knowing, whether it's good or it's bad, and there's all things in between, but why that knowing is affecting your body in such a profound way. It's why that person who knows that men and women are cheaters will have a hard time ever thinking anything different. Because the marrow is producing the blood that is circulating throughout their entire body, so it is feeding every cell in their body with the knowing that men and women are cheaters. You will probably never get them to think anything different. And if they want to change that belief, they'll have to work their tail off. If it's only at the level of a belief, because they maybe encountered it once or twice, it'll be easier to change. But see, don't we meet people and go, I don't know why I'm always dating guys that cheat on me. Why do I always attract the same kind of guys? Why do I always get bosses that treat me badly? It's coming from here. This is how we want to work to change it. See? But if you just heard the concept men and women are cheaters and you don't even really believe it, right? I can tell it to you. It's just a thought. That's not true. Are there some? Absolutely. Are we all? No. And see, when you're there, that gives you the ability to feel the atoms coming off of somebody and help get the truth. See? This is why you want to work your stuff, so that you can get truth. Because when you have your own knowing and it's a mess, you can't get truth off somebody else. Because see, right? Remember what I said? Any man or woman that person met that believed that men and women are cheaters, they're going to just assume they cheat. You will never convince them differently. Working your stuff lets you be able to feel and hear those atoms much more clearly. And the more pain you have been through and you have healed, the larger your repertoire of understanding, the larger your ability of tolerance when you heal those issues. You don't heal them, you're not going to get so much tolerance, right? You're going to be short-tempered, impatient, bitter. So here we're talking about the periosteum is a thought that's shallow. The hard bone is a belief. It's harder to change. And the marrow is your deepest beliefs and desires, almost impossible to change. So here's the gift of all of that. That whole concept of God provides for me. You work that thing, you can make it a knowing. I like it being a knowing. I worked really hard to earn that knowing. And no one will ever convince me that he doesn't. Ever. At some times in my life they could have. But not ever again. See, because once you get it, it's yours, and you get to keep it. So you can work for the ones you want, and you can help erase the ones you don't want. I'll tell you, work for the ones you want. It's easier. That focusing on joy, right? Focus on the ones you want. Because no matter where you put your focus, those atoms are headed. So if you're focusing on the stuff you don't want, you're giving your atoms there, giving it your energy. Focus over here, creating the life you love. So let's talk about the bones and their emotions for a minute. Every bone has a category of purpose and a specific emotional effect. Depending on the bone that produced the blood cell, what patterns are carried within that blood cell. Okay? The marrow is significant, as I said before, because the blood is produced by the marrow. The blood carries patterns of healing and emotions to all cells throughout the body. Therefore, your blood cells have a direct effect on your health and your mental, emotional well-being. Both of those things. So what are the practical benefits? By helping to improve the health of a bone, you help improve blood produced by that bone. Right? And if confidence is something we store in our shin, So if we work and improve the health of the shin bone, we work to help improve the health, our confidence. By helping improve emotions within a bone, you help uplift that individual. And what if it's possible to help grief, anxiety, depression, childhood issues, difficulty in adapting to change, or even perhaps clearing molestation or abuse from the body? Because those memories are in the body. They're there. It's not my notes, but I'm going to go ahead and put it out there because there's bound to be a couple in the room that have had some experience with somebody somewhere or know somebody who's had an experience. Molestation is always stored in the pubic bone. Always. Even if there wasn't penetration.
What bone is that?
Pubic bone right here. We're not going to really go into it tonight. I will let you know that in my class and book I have back here for you guys if it's something you want more of. I talk about this and I teach you about how to release it. Okay? I go into this in there. Because here's the thing, is if you're not going to just have it in the pubic bone, but if you were touched up around here, you got it in the ribs too. So it's one thing for us to say that we're working to get over our issues of the past. But sometimes they just keep coming back and we don't understand why. And see, that pubic bone is two separate bones when you're young until you hit puberty. And then it fuses. And right then, it locked those patterns in. I did some of the exercises in a class that I was doing one time, and so many women came up to me afterwards. I mean, it was, I'm talking about, it was an 8-minute exercise. Came up to me afterwards and said, I could not believe the release I felt. Once won't be enough. Just like anything, it's a pattern in motion. So you need to do things a few times to help heal the body. But at least you know how to let it go. At least you can help somebody in healing. You had a question?
You said if an incident happened prior to puberty, when it's after puberty, that emotion's locked in, you can't release it?
No, that would not be accurate. She said, so if an incident happened prior to puberty, when the bones lock at puberty, that it can't be released. No, it's harder to release, but it's not impossible, and I can speak from personal experience. Okay? I can share from my own life. It can be released. It doesn't matter if you're 10 or you're 90. There's ways to be able to release it from the bones. Repeating emotions. This is what we're going to talk about here. So sometimes I go, I thought I cleared that issue. Why is it here showing up again months later? I thought I dealt with that. We may have cleared the thoughts or emotions, but not fully cleared the body. The bones may still be producing blood that carries those emotional patterns. And here's the thing also. Your blood, every cell in your body, reproduces itself every 140 days. So even if you clear the pattern, so let's just say anxiety, you cleared whatever the thing was creating the anxiety, you got that blood cell still floating around in there, see? So it's going to be 3 or 4 months. So this is a process that takes a little bit of time. But we have time, right? We got time. For me, this is the importance of hands-on healing for the bones in the body. We're just sharing our atoms. That's it. Sharing our atoms, increasing the wisdom and healing capacity in each other's body. Because let me ask you something. If somebody's got cancer, how hard is it to heal? Pretty tough, right? Especially on your own. You know one reason why? It's not only the emotional patterns and the things that were in motion, the physical and all that created it. The fact is they don't have a whole lot of energy. You need energy to heal. And that's what we do. Just like when you reach down and help that child, or you reach over and you touch your neighbor, you are sharing your atoms. I believe that because my body has healed chicken pox, because I'm made up of atoms, my atoms know how to heal chicken pox. And therefore, if you had chicken pox, I think my atoms could help tell your body, the atoms in your body, how to fix that chicken pox. Why wouldn't it? Especially if I wanted it to. If I had intention and conscious thought and awareness, why not? Now, if I hadn't healed chicken pox, it probably couldn't do you any good. I'd be in just as much trouble as you were. See? But see, I've had molestation in my past. And I've healed from it. You see, no anger. Isn't that amazing? I got to learn that nobody can take my power of love away from me. You cannot stop me from loving. I don't care how ugly or awful you are to me. It's my right. It is my divine right to love with every cell in my being if that's what I want to do. And I will not let somebody who's screwed up take it away from me. I will not give them that right. So I figured out how to heal it. So don't you imagine how smart my body is? How it could help someone else who still had that issue. It could communicate through my atoms to their atoms to say, here's how you can help fix this. I can't fix it for you. I can't heal your chicken pox. But I can share my atoms' knowledge with your atoms and help your body figure it out for itself. You still got to do the work. I can't do the work for you. I can only do my work. I can be the best me I can be. I can spread all those happy, peaceful atoms everywhere I'll go. I can't fix you. I can only give you information to help you fix yourself. So any painful thing that you have ever healed in your life, you now have the wisdom of how to fix it. You understand now why you want to heal your broken heart? Why you want to heal from every bad thing that's ever happened in your life? First of all, because they're sucking the joy out of your life. You are doing that. You're blaming them for it. But you're just still feeding it all that energy. Because I could stand up here and rant and rave about all the stuff that happened to me and blame them and why I'm such an angry, bitter person because such and such happened to me in my life. What good am I doing to anybody? I wouldn't be happy and I wouldn't be in front of you guys because you'd all get up and leave the room. Oh my God, how much longer has she got? Right? I'm this because I chose it and I worked for it and I have the free will right to become and be anybody that I choose to be. And nobody has the right to take that from me. I can give it to them. See? I can give it to them. Or I can take it back. This is my heart. This is my body. This is my soul. This is my life. And I will heal. Even if I don't know how. That's what God is for. So that I can get on my knees and go, show me how to forgive this. Show me how to forgive this thing I have no idea how to fix. Show me how. What does more love look like? What does forgiveness look like? What does compassion look like? Show me how to be that person for me. So that I have joy and peace in my life. And once I get it, I can give it all to you. See? Then I can help you. Then I got all those happy atoms to spread around. Tons of them. Tons of them. Unlimited supply. Because see, that whole little pie chart, how much you fixed? See, I'm always working to fix it. I want my pie to be bigger. I'm like, can you make the pie chart bigger? Can you just expand the thing? Because I know you can make your heart bigger. My heart's a whole lot bigger than it was 5 years ago, much less 30 years ago. I'm a different person than I was. I'm very grateful that I am, and the people who know me are very grateful that I am. So let's talk about different bones in the body and what they represent. So your feet are about joy moving forward. There are 19 bones in the feet, and you guys probably already know this from the stuff that you've studied. These bones support us in balance, flexibility, and adaptability to shift your path. This is not counting the ankles, this is only the feet, by the way. See, your feet are how you change direction, right? They touch the earth at the furthest point in front of you, so they're where you're headed. They take you where you want to go. You don't like where you're going? Change the direction. Only you can change the direction. And every morning you get up and start a new day. If you don't like where you are, change the direction. And they determine and reveal the direction you're headed in. So let me tell you, look at your life today. Look at your life 6 months ago. How is it different? Now you'll know where you're going. If it's getting worse, you might not like where you're headed. Make a difference. If you like it, if it's getting better, well, you're going in a better direction. It's real simple. If where your life is headed is out of harmony with your heart, then the feet will show it. You guys also probably know this because of this group. Some symptoms you're out of balance. Now you guys could probably tell me more symptoms than I'm going to give you. One is you look at your feet and they don't look good to you. You think your feet are ugly. All right? Your feet, if you're headed where you want to go in your life, they're going to be beautiful to you. You're going to look at them, you're going to love your feet. If they hurt, if they ache, if you have issues like bunions, warts, plantar fasciitis, swelling, things like that, there's a clue. Things are off. What if your feet are giving you trouble? Take a look at your life, where it is, and where you're headed with your future. Where do you want to be in 6 months? You know, sometimes people go, where do you want to be in 10 years? Well, who knows how you're going to get there? Right? The 10-year plan? I'm just trying to figure out one day at a time. So even if nothing else, get up in the morning and go, what kind of day do I want? Because it's your day, and you can get out of bed and go, and it's going to be a really bad day. And if that's a knowing, you got a problem. Hopefully it's just a concept, not even a belief. It's just a concept. Maybe it's going to be a bad day. But if you get up and go, it's going to be a great day. Now I tell you, I don't get up and say it's going to be a great day. I get up every morning and go, what kind of day is it going to be? They teach you to say, get up, it's going to be a great day. And if you're trying to change some programming, that's a great thing. And put a note on your mirror that says every day you look at it and go, it's going to be a great day. I get up, I open up my heart and go, God, what kind of day is it going to be? What do you want me to be ready for? Somebody going to have a hard time today? Want to give me a hard time? Help me with my tolerance. Help me with my kindness. Help me with my patience. And I'm already ready for it before it happens. See? Didn't blindside me. Didn't surprise me. I knew it was coming. For things to change, you have to change. For things to change for your clients, they have to change. They just can't come see you over and over and over again. I mean, yes, there are great things that we can do within the body, but right, if they keep doing the same stuff they're doing, they're going to come back with the same problem. Isn't that the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting to get different results? For life to get better, you have to get better. See, that's what I started out with, giving you that tool. Fix you. Change you. Make you the person you want to be. I forgave the unforgivable, not because they deserved it, because it's who I choose to be. And I have the right to be that person. I will tell you, there's a huge amount of grace that can happen. If you just do your part, profound changes can happen that can't be explained. Miracles happen every day, you guys. When I taught my Bones workshop for the first time back in 2010, I'm talking to the group in the room, and I said, I just want you to understand. I said, I know 8 people who have spontaneously healed from cancer. Let me be very clear, they were not my clients. I'm not saying that. I'm saying these were people I had randomly run into during my life. 8 people who had instantly healed from cancer. And every one of them said the same thing. They said, I had the cancer. I had this aha moment. I felt the cancer leave my body. I went to the doctor a few days later and I was cancer-free. Every one of them the same thing. And you know what happened? A girl in the class raised her hand and said, make it 9. 10. You see how this works? I know 10. How many people? Well, now you all know 1. At least. But you see this? Miracles happen. I know it. See? 10, that makes it a knowing for me. 1 was the concept. See? The first time I encountered it, I went, really? Really? And for whatever reason, God kept putting those people in my path. And it went from a concept to a belief to now I know it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And I know people it's happened for. Since then. Oh, that's right. 11. If you do nothing to change, then your life will continue in the same direction, repeating the same difficulties you have consistently faced in your past. So, that's the feet. Fingers. Fingers are details, ideas, and sharing. Fingers play instruments. They write, they point, they cook, they run through our hair, they hold hands, and they stroke the faces of those people we love. Fingers craft the details on sketches and sculptures that bring them to life. Fingers handle all the essentials of our daily life. They represent detail and a big portion of how we communicate. They reach out and grasp. If your fingers are having challenges, look to your day-to-day struggles. Now granted, I know this sounds like a lot. You're getting a lot of information. But wait, I was just doing my feet and I got my fingers. Pick one. Let me ask you, anybody ever rearranged a room full of furniture? Or moved into a new space, right? Have you noticed if you just even move one picture in the room, suddenly you got to move a couple other things? See, this is your life. You don't want to rearrange all the furniture in it because there's things you like. You're just not quite sure what you like, you don't, but I bet you can name at least one thing you don't like. So focus on that one thing that maybe you want to change. Or focus on the one thing you really want to get. But just pick one. Don't try to change the entire tapestry of your life. Pick a thread and try and pull it out. Or find a new one to weave in. It's much more simple. I believe in kind and gentle, fun and easy. This is your life. And you know what? People say life is short, but that's not true. Life is actually really long. You got a ton of time. Enjoy it. Why are you in such a hurry? Because when you get to the end, you want to say, man, I worked really hard the whole time, or you want to go, God, that was great. I had a lot of fun, enjoyed my friends. Yeah, I ran into some challenges and stuff. I worked on those, but in the process, I enjoyed a lot of good movies or good books or good dinners. Held my kids a lot or my grandkids. Played with the dog, whatever that is. That's your life. We take every day way too serious. And in that process of seriousness, we miss the fun. And then we become miserable and then, So realize that in sharing this with you, I'm just helping you understand the depth of the concept. I don't want you to take on changing your whole life. I'm just trying to help you understand what some different things represent. So is there something that needs to be addressed? Something you're over-worrying about on a daily basis? Is there an idea that wants to be expressed by you? Or is there something you're denying yourself that you want to grasp? What do we get if we keep denying and not grasping? What would you think that looks like watching my hand? Arthritis. Because we didn't let ourselves have what we wanted. We just kept denying it over and over and over again. Those tiny little details of the things we loved. Maybe you never painted and you wanted to. Maybe you never sculpted and you wanted to. Maybe you never learned to cook. Maybe you never, whatever it was, you didn't let yourself do it. Let's talk about the joints for a second. Joints are about adaptability and flexibility. The joints are where the bones come together. There's a discrepancy on actually how many bones are in the body. Believe it or not, the medical community, not joint bones, but joints. Medical community cannot agree on how many joints are actually in the body. I think that's really funny. Everything else they know, they can't agree on the number of joints. But let's make it simple. Anywhere that your body moves, bends, or twists is a joint. Because there's got to be a joint in between the bones. Real easy. There are some joints where the body doesn't move, like your skull. You've actually got joints in your skull. These are very, very common and easy places for the energy to get blocked, trapped, or stuck. Right? How many people have knee issues, hip issues, issues with their hands, issues with their elbows, issues with their shoulder, issue with their neck, their lower back, their spine, right? Those are all joints. That's a really easy place for things to get hidden and trapped. Movement helps to free the energy and assist the body to restore balance. That's why exercise is so important. I get it, some people don't like exercise, but it's really some type of movement is important. Duke University did a study, and they found the number one thing to reverse aging and illness was exercise. More than anything, more than what you ate, more than your habits, more than anything else was exercise. So you just want to find what you like, because maybe what you like is helping special kids on horses. See, you're just walking around the track with them. You're getting exercise. It doesn't have to be going for a 10K. It doesn't have to be yoga. Doesn't have to be water aerobics. It can be whatever it is for you, but you need movement. Movement's really important. So find the thing you love. Don't do the thing you don't love. Remember, you're already miserable enough. Why are you going to make yourself run if you hate running? Find the thing you love, so now you bumped your joy, and do it every day. Or at least do it 3 times a week for 20 minutes. Science has shown that if you exercise, if you change your life today and you exercise 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, in 6 months, you will be happier. Now, my talk tonight is not on epigenetics. I do talks on that. Some of you may know what epigenetics are. It has been proven. 20 minutes of exercise 3 times a week. In 6 months, you have changed your epigenetic expression and you will be happier. So, wow. So if you find the exercise you really love and then you're doing that for 20 minutes 3 times a week, how great are you going to be in 6 months? How different would your home life be? Would your work? Would your relationships? How much more fun would it be even going to the grocery store? How much more fun would you be to hang out with? Right? The joints emotionally represent our ability to shift and change directions. You're going to like this next one. Our ability to be adaptable and flexible in the mind and our emotions. This is why, see, older people tend to resist change, which is why they have more joint problems. See, we become more set in our ways. We like doing it this way. I don't want to change it. My kids come home trying to help me learn about technology. I'm not even that old. I had to figure out how to do PowerPoint. But you know what? If I was 18 or 19 or 20, it'd probably been fun. It was a challenge for me. And trying to teach my mom how to use an iPhone. She really liked the idea of Siri. We're just trying to get her to figure out how to push the buttons. Bless her heart. So when we lock up emotionally or get stuck, our bodies get stiffness or issues in the joints. So your joints will tell you you might need to be more adaptable and change. And I will tell you that at 53 years old, it's a lot harder for me to be adaptable and changeable than it was at 20. So I can only imagine, my parents are around 80, it's got to be harder for them. So understand it is going to be a challenge. I'm not telling you it's easy, I'm just trying to give you the clues so you can know to make a difference if you wanna. They do find that water aerobics brings a lot of relief for arthritis as we get older. See, it's the movement. Different joints do represent different areas in life. The ankles have to do with our path or the direction your life is headed in. Fingers and wrists have to do with grasping what we want in life. And the neck has to do with seeing options and receiving guidance. Anybody like to receive more guidance? Anybody have neck issues? You're not so sure you really want to receive that guidance. Well, I thought I wanted somebody to tell me what to do. Who really likes anybody to tell you what to do? Right, so we already have a dilemma going on in the body. Tell me what to do. I don't want anybody to tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. I don't want anybody to tell me what to do. The ribs have to do with grief, joy, and expandability. The protective shelter for the heart. Okay? They act as shock absorbers. They help redirect painful energy away from the heart. And the strongest bone, called the sternum, is in the center of the chest with 24 ribs that move the shock away from the heart center. So let's talk about this for a second. So you get some bad news. It comes at you. When it comes, you know where it hits? Right in the center of your heart. Right in the center of your chest. Right here. So that hits right in the center of your chest. And then what it does is it goes out the ribs. See? Wham! So the heart doesn't get the impact. The ribs take the impact. The ribs get the trauma. And they try to protect the heart, but they can only do so much because they're the chamber within the heart sits. When we receive news that is shocking or stunning, such as the loss of a loved one or a tragedy that affects someone we love, the ribs take the traumatic energy and direct it away from the heart. The shoulders have to do with doing the journey with grace. You ever feel like you should know what to do, or that you should have clarity? The shoulders represent trusting the divine on your journey to give you what you need when you need it. And here's the kicker, not a moment too soon. See, we want it sooner. That's really our problem, right? I'm happy to trust if you give it to me early enough that I know that I'm going to be okay when I get there. We have timing issues. See, our issues aren't necessarily trust or faith, it's more about timing. We want it in our time. So we think we should do this or should do that. I should take care of my neighbor. But you know what? If your neighbor's sick and you want to help your neighbor, that's great. But what if you're too worn out? What if you're sick? Aren't there a lot of other people in your community that could also help that neighbor? I'm not telling you not to help your neighbor. What I'm telling you is to feel on the inside if you're the person that needs to help. Because what if the ricochet effect of you helping is going to create problems in your home? You're not the only person on the planet that can help. And that's where we sometimes get off track. You're not the only one. You're not the only healer. Just look in this room how many healers there are. It might not be the right time for you to help in your life. See, this is why I talk about the divine aspect, is because God provides. God takes care. And sometimes we take it on as our responsibility. If you get the call inside, not the phone call, you get the calling on the inside, yes, you go. But let me ask you, okay, so when the Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans, if we all went because we should, okay, they can't even fit that many of us in the town. Would we be really helping? We'd be bumping into each other and falling all over the place. But the people who felt the calling on the inside knew, I need to go. And people who felt the calling to donate gave money. And if we all went and we all gave all our money to Katrina, well, what about all the other natural disasters that are happening around the world? It's not about should, it's about, is it your calling? Are you being asked to act? What is it, 8 billion people on our planet? That's a lot of help. A lot of help, a lot of options, a lot of people to make a difference. And it might be your calling. It might be exactly what you need to be doing. And it might create conflict in your home, but if it's what you need to be doing, then we work with the conflict. But you want to pay attention because maybe you answered a calling that wasn't yours. And now you're shouldering too much. We could call them our shoulders. Should I? See, we go, I don't know, should I? Right? Don't we do that? I don't know. Because you don't know. There you go with the shoulders automatically. Carrying the weight of the world. You may be taking responsibility for more than is your share. And don't let somebody else guilt you into it. Know that God guides you. And if He guides you, He's going to let you know if you need to help, because your heart's going to go out. See, that's it. It's your heart. Did your heart go out? If your heart didn't go out, it doesn't mean you're cold. It means it wasn't your calling. You can still have compassion, but you didn't get the calling. It wasn't yours to go. It wasn't yours to do that act right then in that moment. And you wear yourselves out because you're answering every call. It's not about every call. You got to share. Let some other people do some of the work. See? So that you have more energy for those you are to help. For your family, for your children or grandchildren, for that neighbor that maybe you do need to help, for your clients. See, you're walking around exhausted. Well, you're given in places that aren't necessarily your place that you're being called to. That's just my opinion. You can do it any way you want to. When we continually think that things should be a particular way, tension in the shoulders intensifies and prevents us from doing life with ease, causing trouble in the neck and the shoulders and the back. Much of our questioning comes from our expecting life to look a particular way. See, we think when it's good we got it right, and when it's bad we got it wrong, and that's not accurate. It's called the journey. All those emotions and everything you go through are the journey of being human. It's not your fault because it went bad. And you don't necessarily get credit when it goes good. You might, depends on what your things were. See, and it might be your fault it went bad. Fix it. Life is not about avoiding trauma or pain. It's about handling the challenges with grace. That's who you want to be, or that's who I want to be. I want to be able to handle any situation with grace, because then I can look myself in that mirror every single day and feel good about the person that I am and the difference that I'm making in the world. Learning to do just one moment or just one day is a challenge. But that's really all you got. See, because look, 30 minutes ago is already gone. Can we go back and change 30 minutes ago? Can't do anything about it. Can we change 30 minutes from now? Lots of things could happen. We don't know what it's going to be. We can only change the now. That's all you got. And that's the part of me that talks about the divine timing, is God's looking at you now. You might want to know that you got enough to eat in a week or to pay a bill. But see, that's not here yet. Do you have what you need right now today? Can you eat? Do you have shelter? Do you have warmth? Do you have what you need today? And that's where you get knowing and strength. And I've lived it. Same things. That's what I can say to you, man. It's not easy, but oh, the freedom that you get is huge. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Louise Hay. She talks a lot about the emotions in the body. The body, like everything else in life, is a mirror of your inner thoughts and beliefs. Every cell responds to every single thought you think and every word you speak. So what else can we discover? What else can we do? You might want to know more about the different bones, like which ones represent willingness to change, or the ability to receive guidance and inspiration, or what are the symptoms when a bone is out of balance? What specific exercises can help different bones? So I've got books, I've got things in the back to help you take it further. I've got classes. So there's various things to help you, but I can only take you so far, and you guys are full. Can't you feel it? You're full. You're maxed. You got everything in that cup I can put. So that's why I have the other. Just so you know, if you want more, all the information even here, it's all in the book. So it's there. It's easy for you. Let's talk for a second about something different. This might perk you up a little bit. What about making your own beneficial products? What if you can make something to help? You guys like doing that stuff? Yeah, see, you're perking up a little bit. Let's change topics. Fresh, organic, and integrity. So let's talk about aromatherapy and essential oils a little bit. You want them to be fresh. You might be able to have organic or not, but I like organic. Okay, but sometimes organic's really hard to get. So you may or may not be able to get it. Understand that. And integrity. That's the number one factor for me. And I believe you can smell integrity. Combinations do give you better results. So if you smell lavender, for instance, it'll affect a particular part of your brain. You smell rose, it'll affect a different part. You put rose and lavender together, you not only get all the benefits of lavender and all the benefits of rose, but you get an increase in benefits. What if you put 5 or 6 or 7 together? Now where are you reaching in the mind? So, if you want to shift the energy around and outside the body, out here, you use a mist. It's really easy. Just spray it around you. Spray it on your bedding, right? Put it on the dog's bedding. You want to shift energy inside or in the tissues of the body, you need to use an oil. This is the base for your essential oils, is what I'm sharing. So here's a reason for an oil. See, let me talk a minute further about the immune system on the skin. Immune system on the skin works by breaking down oils on the body. And it takes it many hours to do this. And the byproduct of breaking down those oils is you produce enzymes that kill viruses and bacteria and germs. So what do we as Americans do more than by any other culture in the world? We shower. We also consume more lotion than any other country in the world. But here's the challenge. It's a scientific word called specific density. Lotion doesn't have the same specific density as an oil, which means, hadn't you noticed how fast it goes away? Whereas an oil holds. The oil takes the body longer to break down. So if we're looking to have a longer lasting healing impact in the body, we want to put it in oil as the base. So we're about at our time. I've got a bunch of stuff for you. Let's see.